Shalom, HALALYAM la YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, QADASH. Double honors unto my apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well, orderly and fervently through the Spirit. To the Achia, my fellow laborers, risking their lives and fearing to push this word out in truth and sincerity. To the Achia, Ma'akwath, listening and learning, being doers of the word and abiding in the faith. And to the speckled birds scattered abroad that look like the other nations but are truly Yasharala through the Spirit. Shalom Barakatam. This is your brother Ariel from the GMS Orlando camp, and I just want to make a lesson on something that I was just randomly reminded of. We know it's not really random, but I was just reminded of this video that you see on the screen right here, called Minecraft Fail, a Minecraft parody by some dude named Gonzo SSM. And I remember pretty much exactly how it went down. And I was just vexed, because I realized it's like when you remember something from your past and you realize what it was, especially with us being in the truth. Now you understand, you have a brand new perspective on it, just through the Spirit. I was just randomly reminded of it, and I meditated on it a little bit, and I don't want to play it, because I don't know if YouTube might, flag me or whatever. But I'll just to summarize it, right? You see the description right here says a touching story about two strangers' love in an unforgivable place. Okay? But that's entirely incorrect. That's very misleading. I mean, that's intentionally misleading. And notice how right above that it says video content may offend some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. So that really doesn't make sense that the guy, because you make your own descriptions, he typed that in himself. Long story short, because I don't want to spend that much time on it. You see how disgusting. I mean, the first thing that popped up, right, as I scrolled a little bit through the video, it's some very ugly, grotesque drawing. And notice the year this was uploaded was 11 years ago, in 2012. All right. And if brothers don't know, I'm 23 right now. So I was 12 when this came out. And I watched this around that time when it came out. Okay. Now this video is basically, it is a Minecraft parody. When you make a parody of something, you make your own version, whatever it may be, your own little adaptation, a fan-made adaptation or joke thing about existing media. This demon decided to make his own parody about a kid's game, a children's game called Minecraft. Everybody know Minecraft. Nothing but little children play that. Okay? And he capitalized off the popularity of Minecraft, catered towards children, back when YouTube didn't have the whole made for kids thing. It was just out there for everyone to see. That's how I found it. That's how I saw it. I didn't search this out. I didn't know who this dude was. This is the first video, not the only video, but it was the first video I ever seen from this guy. And I've seen probably about 2 or 3 videos from this particular person. But, I have to put the disclaimer out that I'm not targeting this guy. It's not about him specifically, because there's a couple other examples. A modern example I can think about is a channel called Meat Canyon. Does similar videos. Very grotesque drawings, disgusting, imagery, and children is a large, if not the main audience. Okay? A large part, if not the main audience. But especially back here, especially at this time, that's very detrimental for children to be seeing this. Okay? And Esau Edom is to blame for platforming this, for allowing it to go up, for keeping it up. Okay? And for enabling this. Okay? And to the demon that created this came from his mind. He sat here and drew everything frame by frame. Animated this, Salakia. He put it on his screen. He colored everything and uploaded it. Had someone voice acted and everything. Like, this came from the mind of a demon. Okay? So basically, you have this monster. In the video game, it is a monster, but in this cartoon, he just walked up to this guy, as you see, and the guy with extreme prejudice, reacted in a hostile manner and punched him, and then the monster is basically begging for his life, saying, I didn't mean any harm. I wasn't going to do it. I was just coming up to say hi or whatever. But you see how, the guy didn't care. He was very rough with him. And basically the whole, the main thing behind this is the fact that this guy sexually assaulted the monster. Like, he showed the guy unzip his pants. You don't see anything. Well, you do. There is explicit imagery, actually. Which is why, again, I don't understand how this ever went up and how it's still up. You see the man grab the monster's butt cheeks. He drew the butt cheeks. He drew him grabbing it. And basically he homosexually raped him. Raped a monster, man. You see the shit didn't skip. This shit played, man. It was a very uncomfortable, 30 seconds or so. And then eventually the monster comes back. He also beat him up. As you see right here, I forgot about that. He beat him up, gave him a black eye. He's all bloody. I mean, this is very crazy. This is crazy. How is this on YouTube, bro? How is this on YouTube? So you see him crying. It starts to rain. Very just grotesque imagery. He's suffering, man. Much like how a man would be in real life, just completely destroyed. And then at the end, he comes back and performs the function that the monster in the game is supposed to do. When this green thing called a creeper comes up to you in the game, you have to hurry up and kill it quickly or lead it away from whatever you're building, because they walk up and they just self-destruct and they will destroy your progress. So that's why I guess the guy was prejudiced towards the monster, but I mean, he made it abundantly clear in this parody, because you make your own rules in a parody. You're just using the existing intellectual property, that the monster didn't mean any harm, but he still did that shit. I mean, this is a guy that made this. He could do whatever he wants. He could animate, he could draw whatever he wants, and he chose to make it like this. So at the end of the video, the last like 15, 30 seconds, he came and he actually blew up. And it was like, you know, I was after this. Yeah, at the very end, then he came back and he blew up. And it's also gory imagery here as well. You can see that. So I remembered this video. Yeah, I mean, you see it. Let's just get off. Let's just get off of that. So you see what is on here freely for the children, for anybody to see this. Okay. So basically, what I thought about it was again, this is Esau's fault, man. All right. And we already know, 2/3 is wicked as well. This guy, this specific guy, I don't know if he might be a Jake or not. Just from what I have seen, he seems to have like some kind of relation, some kind of ties to Spanish or Latin, something like that. He could be South American, a Jake, but more than likely, I believe, probably an Edomite. If he speaks Spanish, he's a Spaniard, probably. I can't say for sure, but we always have to hold our people accountable as well. 2/3 are not innocent whatsoever. Okay. But the main culprit, the main forwarder of wickedness is Esau Edom, because he is the wicked. So for Esau, because Esau owns YouTube, okay, it's Edomites that own this shit, that allow shit to be uploaded, that have their team of people reviewing the content that is put on their website for the world to view. I mean, this has 26 million views, and it's been up since 2012, man. Okay, and it got plenty of views at the time as well. And they allowed this shit to go up, and they allowed this shit to stay up. But they'll crack down on brothers with 5 views a video or less for quote-unquote medical misinformation, because we're bringing out facts about the MOTB, so on and so forth. Even when we speak in code, we can get clipped. Whole channels taken down for what? For bringing out the truth, man, against this devil and his agenda, showing you that the wicked is in rulership and they want wickedness to go out. Anything against wickedness, if you speak like, well, let's get that. Let's start with that. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 15. Yea, truth faileth. Truth is failing. Okay? And he that departeth from evil maketh himself a prey. So if you are against evil, if you're against wickedness, you are a target. You're looked down upon. Okay? We're sheep in the midst of wolves that want to devour and consume us and consume the truth and blot out the remembrance of righteousness of YAHAWASHI Yahawashi. So if you depart from evil, you make it yourself a prey. And the Lord saw it, and it displeased him that there was no judgment. There's no judgment for this guy, for any of these people that uploaded and created these things. Okay? With no regard for the wickedness that they were pushing out, for the children, the young eyes, or anybody for that matter that was going to view this and see it and be traumatized by it. They don't give a damn. They only give a damn about making money or whatever the hell this nigga was trying to accomplish with that shit. And then there's also, you have this one right under. This is one of the 2 or 3 videos I've seen, if not just those two, then I probably, because that says that's Dragon Ball Z number 2, so I probably saw Dragon Ball Z number 1. But I don't remember. I just remember this because the imagery of how he made Frieza, the character Frieza from Dragon Ball Z, look, he made him look like a black man, a so-called black man, with the, you see the lips and the muscle and everything. And if you listen to it, which, hey, I don't recommend, don't even watch these. You don't need to. Okay? All you need to know is that it's disgusting, it's vile. And let me get this, because the scriptures say it better than I can. Okay? This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. And it's funny that it mentioned, well, as a spirit rather, that it mentions profane, right? Of course, Esau for damn sure is a fornicating, filthy, disgusting homosexual, but it also says profane person. Profane, which the apostles and elders on down bring out, means outside of the temple. Okay? We're going to get into that because that's going to bring us to the account of Doeg or Doug the Edomite during the time of King Saul persecuting King David. And Lord's will, we're going to read that. Okay? So it says, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. So this is a very short-sighted, vile, profane, filthy devil, wicked demon. Okay? The nation of Edom. They are the wicked, the border of wickedness, the scriptures call them. So you have this second one that's also very disgusting. Right? That's also very racist because he depicted Frieza to be a so-called black man, like a porno so-called black man, where he made his tail. This one I'm not even going to click on. Okay, he depicted his tail as a penis, and it was also very sexual, very disgusting, very homoerotic, very vile. Okay, I don't really remember it. All I remember is that. And this also came out 11 years ago, around the time where I was 12 years old. I was just, that's a time like when you're starting to mature, when males, not even just males, females as well, around 12, 11, 12, 13 is when children hit puberty, and your memory's actually working, because we don't remember shit from when we were really, really young for the most part, but you really remember stuff around that time. People put out jokes about how consciousness, your consciousness is activated at a certain time, and you start to remember things more, vividly, for the first time. And that's what happened. The YAHAWAH, he kept me from that nastiness. But a lot of people, I say most people, struggle with that shit. They get, and that's the thing, man. So as a child, okay, and I got this written down. Okay, this is exactly what I thought when I first remembered this. So as a child, I made a video about this thing called Cult of the Lamb, right? I believe the video was titled they try to justify wickedness, or they try to make wickedness look appealing and cute. And that's what they did with that game, because they just made an update to that game because they went viral and said, we're going to add sex to our game. It's like, why would you do that? How is that even something to consider? Because the game is literally about anthropomorphic little cutesy animals. Why would you add sex to that? But this is a profane fornicator we're talking about, Esau Edom. So you can't put nothing past him. The mind of Esau Edom is an abyss of evil, an abyss of depravity. So you can't put nothing past Esau Edom. And I want to especially focus on the fact that children are drawn into this shit because it looks appealing, or it's based on some shit that they are into, like Minecraft, like Dragon Ball Z. Okay? And Esau will add in his racism, his hatefulness rather, right? He'll add in his ideology and philosophy into it as well to corrupt the minds of children. Okay? And a lot of times the children won't even realize what they're viewing is absolutely vile and traumatic. They're scarred by what they see, right? And as a child, a lot of times you get drawn in. That shit will influence you, and you'll get drawn back in. You know, you ever were watching like a scary movie, and it's scary, but you cover your eyes or you look away, but you want to look back because you want to see how it ends, or you want to still look at it. It still draws you in. That's just what happens, especially for little children. So what people don't understand, they're very, people are very apathetic, and they oversimplify things to the point where it's just like, no, let me do what I want to do, and if you don't like it, that's a you problem. Well, you shouldn't be allowed to do these things anyway. Okay? You shouldn't be allowed to do these things anyway. This shit shouldn't even be a possibility. You know what I'm saying? So children will get drawn in. They'll get drawn back in. It happens all the time. One way or another, whether it be morbid curiosity, which let's look up the term morbid curiosity. Morbid curiosity is colloquially described as an interest in or curiosity about unpleasant things, especially death. Morbid fascination. Morbid curiosity is a natural human trait that drives people to seek out information or experiences that are considered dark, disturbing, or taboo. And that's children. That's the impressionable young mind of children. It can stem from a desire to understand the unknown, confront fears, or satisfy a psychological need for novelty and stimulation. That's crazy. I didn't read this before, but I mentioned that, all right, in the thing that I had written down, right? I said, whether that be morbid curiosity, desire to overcome the fear or trauma that you just experienced, or a big one is mental illness and scarring that this thing inflicted on you. So now you become sick. You become sick in the head, and you're drawn back into it. You're reeled back in, and you maybe even rationalize why it's okay or why it should continue. And that's literally what it says right here. Morbid fascination, a desire to understand the unknown, confront fears, or satisfy a psychological need for novelty and stimulation. That shit is exactly what Esau puts out. See, Esau understands the psychology shit. Okay? He's tortured a lot of people, a lot of our people, right? He dives deep into the brain and how the shit works. Esau understands a lot of this shit. Okay? So what Esau is going to do, he's going to take advantage of that and exploit you. And he does that a lot with children. He is a pedophile after all. Pederasty came from him, dealing with little boys. Okay, Esau's a natural homosexual, a natural predator. That's what he does, and that's exactly what it is. Okay, so there's that morbid curiosity that also speaks to the point of you want to go back and be like, that shit. You might take a couple days, weeks, months away from whatever it is, away from all these things, but eventually you keep thinking, especially a kid, you got nothing but time. There ain't nothing else occupying your mind but that shit that just scarred the hell out of you. Until eventually you go back and try to overcome that shit. Look at it like, yeah, this shit don't bother me anymore, because you want to prove that to yourself, or you just want to overcome it in your little mind. Okay? And then the last one, mental illness. That's especially true for homosexuals, man. Because every time I've seen, homosexual people go, especially males, go into why they're homosexual, or they are honest about their childhood, they always reveal the fact that they have been sexually assaulted as young boys by another grown-ass man. Either they were sexually assaulted, they were molested, something like that. And then in turn they became gay. Wasn't nobody born gay. You're not born liking the same sex. That is something that is, I believe through the Spirit, I believe that everybody is born heterosexual. That's the natural course of how shit is going to play out. Right? But something happens, like we just mentioned, you get drawn back into the shit that traumatized you, that hurt you, whether it be to overcome it, whether it be to have some sort of stimulation or something, or that broke your mind. You are now, you're destroyed in the mind. So you think that shit is okay, or you want to do it yourself to try to be like, nothing's wrong with me. Whatever happened, it's okay. Because it hurts you so much, you want to try to be comforted in a way. That's what happened to these homosexual guys, man. They were something happened to them. Okay, and that's real shit. Okay, that's real shit. I know brothers make jokes and go in on these damn, you know what I'm saying? But that's real shit. Like, that's real shit. You still have to understand the Lord is not dealing with no effeminate, no homosexuals, no sodomites. But, understanding is a part of repentance, right? Understanding is a part of getting better and improving. And trust and believe, brothers understand that it's a trauma thing. It's a mental illness. It really is like a painful thing. And that's why you are the way you are now. Through the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, if you're sincere and you truthfully seek YAHAWASHI with all your might, and you want to leave that shit alone and get out of that death style, because it's not a lifestyle that's going to lead to your death, because that's sin, that's transgression of the law. The Lord will work with you through the Spirit if He chooses you, and you can leave that shit alone. You can sincerely repent from that shit. I mean, we've seen examples of it. Okay, that's real shit. Same thing for any addiction or other mental illness or other, traumatic shit that you've been through, and now you can't kick the habit or something, whatever it may be. If you're sincere, the Lord will allow you to repent. The Lord is going to cleanse you. All right, as long as you're sincere about your repentance. Okay? But understand, if you don't repent, you will be put to death. That's thus saith the Lord. Okay? Either you are going to repent and Lord's will, you're part of the elect and you're saved, or you're going to continue in being sick. You're going to continue in being wicked, and you will end up being put to death. Thus saith YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI. Okay? But the fact of the matter is that this shit is Esau's fault, man. He's the main culprit. He's the common denominator when it comes to all the wickedness and all the evil that's out here in the world, man. That's out there for the world to see, for children to be corrupted by. Can you believe, man? I'm like, can you believe this shit is still on YouTube, bro? That this shit is allowed to go and be uploaded. I mean, we say it all the time, brothers. You can't say one word. You can, you can barely. I can't even say it. I can't even give you the example, because you can get clipped off of that, off of words, man, off of one word, no matter the context. But Esau can call you a nigger. I can say nigger all day. You know what I'm saying? I can say spick, pooch, porch monkey, coon, wetback, savage. I can say all this shit all day. I can say that. I can say all types of evil, wicked shit, man. I can encourage wickedness all day long. When you speak against this shit, when you speak the words of life, when you speak the truth, when you speak the names of YAHAWASHI YAHAWASHI, they hate you and they want you gone. And that's Esau Edom dressing up and making it all cutesy and colorful and bright to draw the children in and corrupt them, man. I sound like I sound like a paranoid parent right now, but that's the truth. That's real, man. The Esau is wicked as hell, man. Esau is so evil and disgusting and vile that he puts it like this so he can draw the children in, so he can draw people in and corrupt them and just traumatize them for literally no other reason but to be wicked. The scriptures say his sleep is taken up. I'll just get it. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked, and go not in the way of evil men, which we know now. But back then I didn't know that. I didn't know nothing. As children don't know nothing, and they're vulnerable. They're impressionable. They're moldable. Okay? People always talk about groomer this, groomer that. Grooming is not wrong. Grooming is not wicked. It's how you groom someone. Because you need to be groomed in the way of righteousness. The scriptures say, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is older, he will not depart from it. How are people being groomed now, though? They're being groomed to be alphabet community shit. LGBTQ+. Love is love. God loves everybody. He hates the sin, not the sinner. Live your life. Don't let anyone judge you. Do whatever you want to do as long as it feels good. Okay? Chase money. Okay? Teaching little young kids to be simps. Teaching little young girls to be whores. So on and so forth. Okay? Verse 15, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it, and pass away. Which we practice and we live that now in this truth. departing from evil, departing out of this world spiritually, and being reborn and made new through the Spirit and power of YAHAWASHI. Verse 16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away, unless they cause some to fall. So 26 million views, or however many views, Esau is satisfied just with the fact that it's out there for people to see, and he knows people that see it won't be able to click off fast enough, or they're going to be like, what's this? Or, curiosity is going to get the better of people, especially children. He's satisfied not with even seeing the reactions, but knowing that the shit that he did, his deed, his misdeed, has caused some to fall. That his mischief has traumatized, has hurt, has inconvenienced, has disgusted any number of people. He's satisfied with that. Okay? He's a connoisseur of evil, a connoisseur of wickedness, an expert at it. His sleep is taken away. It's like if Esau doesn't do wickedness at least a couple times a day, he can't sleep at night. He's tossing and turning like, I need to go and just hurt somebody any way I can. That's the way of wickedness, man. That's the way of, namely, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, woman, and child. And best believe they do it all the time. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. But the path of the just is as the shining light that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. YAHAWAH, we're part of that number. So, what I wanted to get was Psalms chapter 52, starting at verse 1. Psalms 52 and verse 1. To the chief musician, Maskil or Maschil, a psalm of King David, when Doeg or Doug, the Edomite, came and told Saul, right? King Saul at the time, and said unto him, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. So he snitched on King David. So, just to go get this real quick, showing you the mischief of Doug the Edomite, of Doeg the Edom, of the Edomite, period, of the Edomite in general. He went and snitched on King David to get him in trouble, right? Because at the time, King Saul was battling with this demon. Okay, he had an evil spirit on him that made him want to put King David to death. Okay, that was when King David made the pact with Jonathan, his best friend, man, his brother. Okay, best friend. They loved each other, and Jonathan was King Saul's son. He's like, what? I don't know what's wrong with my dad. Like, why would he want to put you to death? Like, you're not doing anything. And King David was like, yeah, like, he got an evil spirit on. He's trying to put me to death because he thinks that I'm trying to usurp the throne from him. But that obviously wasn't the case. King David was a righteous, upright man. A man after YAHAWASHI's own heart. But King David had that evil spirit on him. Because he was rejected after he transgressed the word of YAHAWASHI. And I can't remember the prophet's name, but a prophet told King Saul, no, because you transgressed, the Lord not dealing with you anymore. Okay? He's going to take his spirit from you, and the throne is going to be established with someone else, with King David. But for the time being, Saul was still king until David was ready, was made ready to take the kingdom, to take the throne. So Jonathan and David were talking to each other in the field, like, look, this is it. Like, I can't go and celebrate the new moon with y'all. I'm gonna get up out of here. Tell Saul, tell your dad that I want to go and keep an annual sacrifice or some sort of annual holy day with my family back in Bethlehem instead, and that's why I'm gone. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's get it. Let's read it. Okay. So 1 Samuel 21 or 1 Samuel 20, right? And we'll start at verse 4. We're gonna jump around, but we'll get the point, Lord's will, out of all these chapters. So 1 Samuel 20 and 4. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even. If thy father at all miss me, then say, David earnestly asked leave of me, that he might run to Bethlehem his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. Right? So that's what he did. So they were like, this is the plan. And, if Saul really wants to put me to death, Jonathan was like, if my dad really wants to put you to death, here's a signal for that. If he's at peace and he's calm, there's a different signal for that. Okay? So this is what ended up happening, because Jonathan was like, what? Like, why would he want to do that? But David was telling him, no, like, he got an evil spirit. He's trying to put me to death. So, this is, let's go down to verse 24. So King David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat him down to eat meat, and the king sat upon his seat, as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought, something hath befallen him, he is not clean, surely he is not clean. Right? Showing you that the new moon was a Sabbath day. In fact, that was the first Sabbath of the month, because a new moon represents a new month when the moon is dark, right? That brings in the new weekly Sabbath. So he was unclean. He's like, that's why he's not here. Okay. In the NLT, it says something must have made David ceremonially unclean. All right. So, verse 27, and it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month. Right, the second day of the month. The first day of the month is the new moon. Okay. Beautiful. How that proves another thing that we're not even talking about in the same verses. So, the second day of the month, that David's place was still empty. David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, Wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meat, neither yesterday nor today? So where's David at? Saul asked Jonathan, where's David at? And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, Let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath a sacrifice in the city, and my brother he hath commanded me to be there. And now if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away, I pray thee, and see my brethren. Therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. But here's Saul's reaction. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman. Cussing him out. Cussing out his own son. He said, Do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? In the NLT, just to get it more clear, in a modern wording, it says, Do you think I don't know that you want him to be king in your place, shaming yourself and your mother? So Saul had that demon on him, like, David is plotting against me type shit. Okay. Verse 31, says, for as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. So he's like, I got to get David out of the way. Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. See, he wanted to put King David to death. And Jonathan answered Saul his father and said unto him, wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him, at his own son. He cast a javelin at Jonathan to smite him, whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. So this is a time where King Saul was doing what he was. Unfortunately, what his legacy was is mainly for wanting to put David to death and giving him hell. Okay, so Jonathan was pissed off, obviously. So what ended up happening was King David ended up fleeing, right? So 1 Samuel 21:1, then David to Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. Then came David to Nob, to the town of Nob, to Ahimelech the priest. And Ahimelech was afraid at the meeting of David, and said unto him, why art thou alone, and no man with thee? Because obviously David fled, he got up out of there. He didn't have time to do nothing, to prepare. He got to get the hell up out of there, right? And so David was pretty much, he was pretty much lying to, basically, I'm sure, to protect him, to not worry him. David said unto Ahimelech the priest, the king hath commanded me a business, and hath said unto me, let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee. See, he was being wise. He was moving wisely, using what's the word? I believe it's subtlety, which we can look that word up. Subtlety, or subtle, right? Cunning, crafty, prudent, subtile. So King David was being prudent, is a better word, because he wasn't doing it in a deceitful manner like Esau would do. He was being prudent, acting with or showing care and thought for the future. That's what King David was doing. So with prudence, he lied unto Ahimelech the priest, right? Let no man know anything of the business whereabout I send thee, and what I have commanded thee, and I have appointed my servants to such and such a place. Now therefore, what is under thine hand? So he was pretty much asking for food, because he didn't have time to bring nothing, none of that. So he was asking him, you got any food, right? And then verse 7, now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day, detained before the Lord. Detained, going into how, because mind you, Ahimelech is a priest, and when King David asked for food, it said that Ahimelech told him, I don't have no common bread, but there is hallowed bread, right? The shewbread. Okay, so he didn't have any common bread. He gave him the shewbread, as long as he, wasn't unclean, and he gave it to him, But mind you, Ahimelech is a priest, and he had shewbread. That tells you that these were the men of the temple, okay? Which is very fitting, because right here in verse 7, in 1 Samuel 21, it says, now a certain man of the servants of Saul was there that day. So he saw what happened. He saw David and what went down between David and Ahimelech. Detained before the Lord. Why was he detained before the Lord? Because he's a damn filthy Edomite. He's profane outside the temple, and he better stay outside the temple. Detained before the Lord, and his name was Doeg the Edomite, the chiefest of the herdmen that belonged to Saul. Right now, and it said, and David said unto Ahimelech, is there not here under thine hand spear or sword? For I have neither brought my sword nor my weapons with me, because the king's business required haste. so he had to hurry. We know the real reason was because he was running for his life. And the priest said, the sword of Goliath the Philistine, whom thou slewest in the valley of Elah, or Elah, behold, it is here wrapped in a cloth behind the ephod. And if thou wilt take that, take it, for there is no other save that here. And David said, there is none like that. Give it me. And David arose and fled that day for fear of Saul, and went to Achish, the king of Gath. So jump into chapter 22. All right, this is the last chapter we need to get a context on for Psalms 52. Right, this is we'll go down to verse 7 or verse 6. When Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men that were with him, because this is when David had to pretend to be crazy. He had to pretend to be crazy so that nobody would suspect him. So when Saul heard that David was discovered, and the men that were with him, now Saul abode in Gibeah under a tree in Ramah, having his spear in his hand, and all his servants were standing about him. Then Saul said unto his servants that stood about him, hear now, ye Benjamites, will the son of Jesse give every one of you fields and vineyards, and make you all captains of thousands and captains of hundreds? Right? So he's pretty much saying, can David do this for you like I can do it for you? Right? Can David give you this, give you that? Right? That all of you have conspired against me, and there is none that showeth me that my son Jonathan hath made a league with the son of Jesse, David, and there is none of you that is sorry for me, or showeth unto me that my son hath stirred up my servant against me to lie in wait as at this day. So Saul was tripping, man. He was bugging the hell out. All right. Then answered Doeg the Edomite, which was set over the servants of Saul, and said, I saw the son of Jesse coming to Nob, like we read in the previous chapter, to Ahimelech, the priest, the son of Ahitub. And he answered, and he inquired of the Lord for him. Ahimelech consulted the Lord for him, and gave him victuals, and gave him the sword of Goliath the Philistine. So Doeg's bitch ass snitched on King David, right, to get him slain, because he thinks that he thought that Saul was gonna promote him and all this shit. That's how Edomites only care about themselves. They're wicked. They don't care about nobody but themselves, and they only are concerned with themselves being progressing. They're only concerned with their own agenda. So Doeg the Edomite, that filthy bitch ass Edomite, is no different. And the Edomites of today, from the average Joe Schmo to the elites, all right, whether they're Amalek or not, they're all Edomites. They're all the same. They're all the wicked that YAHAWASHI hates. Verse 11, then the king sent to call Ahimelech the priest, the son of Ahitub, and all his father's house. So we got all of them. Okay, the whole family, the priests that were in Nob, and they came all of them to the king. And Saul said, hear now, thou son of Ahitub. And he answered, here I am, my lord. And Saul said unto him, why have ye conspired against me, thou and the... Now keep in mind, remember, King David was being prudent. He lied to Ahimelech to protect him. He just said, look, I'm on business. I can't say nothing about it, but I left in a hurry. Can you spare me some victuals, some provisions, and can I get that sword, because I left my weapons and stuff? And Ahimelech was like, okay. Mind you, Ahimelech was like kind of suspect about why David was alone and all that, but because of David's explanation, then Ahimelech was like, he was kept out of the loop for his safety. That's what David was doing. Unfortunately, Saul was a demon, so he didn't care about none of that. So Saul said unto Ahimelech, why have ye conspired against me, thou and the son of Jesse, in that thou hast given him bread and a sword, and hast inquired of the Most High for him, that he should rise against me to lie in wait as at this day. So Saul took it as, so you inquired of the Lord for David, you gave him provisions, you gave him a weapon, you're trying to help him overthrow me, aren't you? Right? Then Ahimelech answered, mind you, Ahimelech honestly didn't know shit about what the hell Saul was tripping about. He didn't know what the hell he was talking about. Okay? Then Ahimelech answered the king and said, and who is so faithful among all thy servants as David, which is thy king's son-in-law, and goeth at thy bidding, and is honorable in thine house? So you bringing up this accusation about overthrowing and wanting to kill you on David when he is the most honorable, the most loyal, got nothing but good things to say about David. What are you talking about? Verse 15, did I then begin to inquire of the Most High for him? Right? Did I just begin inquiring? I've been inquiring of the Most High for David. It's not the first time that I sought counsel of the Lord for young David, man. All right, this it's not like I'm doing anything different, right? He said, be it far from me, let not the king impute anything unto his servant, nor to all the house of my father. So you can't blame us or David for nothing. You bringing up false accusations, you bringing up shit that has no base, no weight. Okay, for thy servant knew nothing of all this, less or more, right? And he honestly didn't. Okay, I didn't know about no I didn't know about no what the hell is the word? Conspiracy. I didn't know about no conspiracy. Okay. So verse 16, and the king Saul said, thou shalt surely die, Ahimelech, thou and all thy father's house. So that's what they do. That's what people do. That's exactly what they did to YAHAWASHI. Right? When Pontius Pilate's bitch ass was like, what charge do you have to lay against this man YAHAWASHI? What is he guilty of? And what did they do? They deflected. They said, man, just put him to death. We don't got nothing to say. We don't have no charges to bring up because we have no base. We have no weight. We have no leverage. We have nothing to bring up against him. So we just want him to be put to death simply because we're wicked and we just don't like him. Okay? And that's what King Saul is basically doing right here. Right? He didn't have nothing to refute, nothing to no counterpoint, nothing. He just said, thou shalt surely die, because he's just a demon. Thou and all thy father's house. That's how evil, Saul was. And the king said unto the footmen that stood about him, turn and slay the priests of the Lord, because their hand also is with David, and because they knew when he fled, and did not show it to me. But the servants of the king would not put forth their hand to fall upon the priests of the Lord. So the Benjamites, they was like, no, no, we're not doing that. Okay, you tripping. Like, we're not going to just put the priests of the Lord to death because you just are bugged out. No, we're not doing that. So these Benjamites had some integrity. Yes, they were servants of King Saul, but they had integrity. When he was like, just put these men unjustly, put them to death, they said no. Right? But then, look at what this filthy devil did. Verse 18, and the king said to Doeg, turn thou and fall upon the priests. And Doeg the Edomite turned, and he fell upon the priests, and slew on that day fourscore and 5 persons that did wear a linen ephod. So he slew, what is a score is 20, 2, 4, 6, 85 priests. He slew 85 priests, man. Doeg the Edomite did that shit. This filthy ass devil had no problems. He had no integrity. He had no problems doing that wickedness because he had no integrity and he only cared about himself and his own status, his own progression. So, back in Psalms 52. So that was the context of that. right? Psalms 52:1. Relating back to the main topic of Esau, Edom, putting out all this nastiness, putting out all this wickedness. For what? For their own gain, right? For their own agenda, for their own pleasure. Because Esau is the wicked, man, just plain and simple. A psalm of David when Doeg the Edomite came and told Saul, and said unto him, David is come to the house of Ahimelech. Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of the Most High endureth continually. Thy tongue deviseth mischiefs, like a sharp razor, working deceitfully. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness, Selah. Thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. The Most High YAHAWASHI shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place, and root thee out of the land of the living, Selah. The righteous also shall see and fear, and shall laugh at him. Lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trusted in the abundance of his riches, and strengthened himself in his wickedness. But I am like a green olive tree in the house of Yahweh power. I trust in the mercy of YAHAWASHI forever and ever. I will praise thee forever, because thou hast done it, and I will wait on thy name, for it is good before thy saints. Okay, so if y'all brothers and sisters, you sincere listeners, I always like to end videos, no matter how negative the topic may be. I always like to end on a positive note, and the Wadi Habashim Shai, the scriptures do that too. They do that. The scriptures do that all the time. Yahabashim Shai always ends things on a positive note, because we have hope, even in the midst of evil, even in the midst of being having to acknowledge our own transgressions and our own shortcomings. There's hope for repentance. There's hope for mercy and forgiveness. Yahweh Shemi Shai has always, given us hope, light at the end of the tunnel. So regardless of how much wickedness Esau Edom does, how much he forwards, how much he enables, no matter what nastiness is out there that have been scarred and traumatized with, that was that shit was blocked out of my memory for years, for over a decade at this point, and I just randomly came back up this morning, and the shit really pissed me the hell off, man. So I got a lesson out of it, and I got edification out of it for myself first and foremost, and a hope that this shit is not gonna go on no more. Like, the Lord's gonna put a stop to this shit. Okay? The Lord will put a stop to this shit, and he's going to recompense. I said it's not personal to nobody. It's still not personal. But judgment from Yahweh Shemi Shai will go out, all right, one way or another. And you can't stop that. So for that demon, for all them demons that make videos and do things like that, the Lord got something coming for your nasty, wicked asses. Because the internet, the Lord, sanctioned the creation of the internet for the word to go out across the four winds of the earth. The internet does the heavy lifting for us, so we don't have to be traveling, not that we can anyway, but so that we don't have to be traveling all over the world to spread the gospel. The internet does the heavy lifting. That's what the internet is really for. It's for the truth to go out, and for us to measure the times diligently in itself, to get news updates and things like that, to witness prophecy coming to pass. That's what the internet is for. The internet's not for you to pick up girls or make money or do any of that shit. Okay, it's for the benefit of the elect of Yasharali, however, because we're part of that number. But what Esau has done, he's used the internet for wickedness. Esau is like, let's make viruses that infect people's computers and ruin all their shit. Let's also sell, on the flip side of that, he said, let's sell them antivirus software for the shit that you made. That's that ordo ab chaos shit. Order out of chaos. Problem, reaction, solution. You made the problem. Okay, you anticipate the reaction, obviously. So then you present the solution to the problem that you caused. And that's Esau Edom, man. And all his tools, his devices is for wickedness. So for that heavy lifting of wickedness that you have done throughout history, and especially in these modern times, because you're just getting worse. Okay, guess what? You're not going to get away with it. For every child that you traumatize, for every body that you inconvenience, that you scarred, that you hurt, okay, for every idle word, okay, YAHAWASHI is going to answer you with great judgment and wrath. So with that, and the saints rejoice at that, and we can't wait, and we're gonna see it and laugh at you, like the scriptures say. Let me get this in the Apocrypha real quick to close it out. This is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 25 verse 7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy, and the 10th will I utter with my tongue, a man that hath joy of his children. Which we can't have that shit in this society. We can't have joy of children because of shit like that. Because of shit like this that is just out there that your children can easily stumble upon. That's been up for 11 years. But best believe that we will have joy of our children come the kingdom of heaven. Or we won't have to worry about corruption. We won't have to worry about heathens trying to do gay BCs and drag story hour. We won't have to worry about people trying to influence our children, our boys, to dress like little girls. We don't have to worry about you get with an Edomite, she win custody, and she walking through the mall with your little prince in a goddamn tutu, in a little dress, a skirt. You have to worry about your daughter growing up to be a whore, or growing up to be a butch, wearing men's clothing and acting all masculine. We don't have to worry about none of this corruption, none of this evil. So, one of the things which I've judged in mine heart to be happy is a man that hath joy of his children. And here's the point, another one. And he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy, which we will see with our own eyes. We will behold the fall of the wicked. Okay? With our own eyes we will behold the reward of the wicked, and it will be great destruction through the spirit and power of BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Lord's will, we're part of the elect. So I'll go ahead and close it out right there. I pray the lesson was edifying, exhorting, and uplifting through the spirit and power of BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. For what YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI KAYAHA RAWCHAA QADASH bestowed upon me to bring out this lesson and push forth this word. Keep pushing, keep praying, keep fasting, keep enduring, keep striving for the truth unto death, and YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI shall fight for thee, and keep abiding in the faith. Abad babal, Kwame Asherallah, stay strong, we're almost home. Shalom wa barakim lahavachariam, meaning peace and blessings to the elect. YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, is that we may be part of that number. And blessings, honor, glory, and power be unto YAHAWAH wa YAHAWASHI, Samyad wa LAHAWALYAM, always and forever. Shalom.